Hello, everyone. Hi, Charlene. And I'm your host, Karl, the Joe Rogan Yugot of Temu. And our guest today is Misty from Misty Steps. How are you doing?
Good. How are you, Karl?
Pretty good, pretty good. I haven't boiled alive yet, so we're fine. Okay, so Misty, you're a relatively new YouTuber.
Yes.
What,
I think my about a year I've been making videos.
something like that, because I think you started around the first Dungeon Gem.
Yes, I started right before Dragon Week last year, so March. March would have been a year for me.
So around the same time, there was this whole thing about Dungeon Tube is dying. We've got like larger channels going like, oh nope, I'm going to retire. No, I'm not getting more views. I'm going to retire. No, this isn't working for me anymore. So it was kind of a weird time to jump in with something new. Now we know that the Dungeon Tube dying thing was not a thing, but wasn't it kind of a scary time to jump into things?
I don't for me no, but I think that's because I never went into this with the expectation to monetize or make funds or do anything like that. I mostly just wanted to talk a lot about D&D and other tabletop games, and I wanted to get involved in the community. And honestly, Naigobi was a big influence because her channel appeared on my For You page, and it grew so fast. And I was like, well, she's not doing any like insane, crazy editing. She's not doing any sort of like scripted stuff. I could probably do that. And then Dotty's channel also started only a couple of months before I did, and obviously he popped off with Mystic Arts. Um, just so crisp and clean.
Yeah, those two
But
are absolute rock stars, both of them.
yeah, both of them are rock stars. So I joined Gobi's Discord, and when I had made my first few videos, I dropped a link and I was like, "Hey, this is really scary, but here's this." And she said, "I like your vibe. Come join the Discord for Dungeon Jam," and it only escalated from there.
Okay. So I remember that your Dungeon Jam adventure at the time was Oops All Loses, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that was my first 5 room dungeon for Dungeon Jam. And I was pretty new to DMing. I still am. I would call myself pretty new still. Um,
So we're talking how long have you been DMing?
let's see. I started DMing probably in about 3 years ago, 2023. I started playing D&D in 2022, so about 4 years.
Okay, that's interesting because you've got your own very unique take on it.
Yeah, I think it's partially because I had the blessing to have be a theater kid as a kid, and I did my video freeze on
I
us?
think it's kind of frozen, yeah.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Is my audio still coming through at
Yeah,
least?
it's loud and clear.
Okay, great. Well, at least you can still hear me talking. I will try to troubleshoot the camera situation. Um, but yeah, the I think I was very fortunate to be a theater kid growing up. I was almost raised at our community theater, so I was making props, I was making costumes, I was doing program guides for it. It was my first job when I was a
Nice.
high schooler. And I just really love the theater. So that type of immersion and that type of performance was always really appealing to me. And so and then adding in the fact that I'm also a cosplayer, or was yeah, I guess I still cosplay, just not as much as I used to. I used to make, 8 costumes a year, and now I'm down
Oh
to like
wow,
one maybe. It was
that that that
it was
sounds
like
like
my hobby.
that sounds like a lot of work. I mean, like 8 costumes.
Yeah, it was a lot. I wouldn't recommend that, but I was also a college kid, so like that was like my big thing that I did, and I had a lot more time because I was in college instead of having a full-time job and a family. So we, yeah, I love bringing in real life stuff into it. Like I love having props. I love having um, light changes. I love looking through playlists and finding music that I want to have for specific things. Love that immersive part of it.
So yeah, the props that you make for your table are definitely something that I want to talk to about in more detail later because I mean it is crafting, but it's a kind of a different layer of crafting than I usually do, for example.
Yeah. I have never made terrain, and I only recently started painting minis.
But yeah, I mean, like the whole thing with lighting and props and stuff, it gives the this feeling of this like stage managed production around the game.
Yeah, I love the stage production of it for sure, and it's definitely really fun to have my players be kind of the leading actors and driving a scene forward like that with those the literal spotlight on them sometimes.
And your home game is kind of a Victorian setting, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so my I run two D&D campaigns currently. One is 5e, which is my Victorian London one, and then I'm running a 5.5 version of Wild Beyond the Witchlight right now. Um, the Victorian London one, Fogs of London is kind of the moniker of it, has been such a fun learning experience because it's D&D, it's the D&D rule set but with a Victorian can of paint over it. And the running line that we've used is historical until inconvenient.
I love that definition. Yeah.
So basically, we love we love the pretty dresses, we love the balls, we love the drama of sending letters and the pining in the letters for like the NPCs who's in love with one of my player characters. But also women can wear pants and have rights because
Reasonable.
that's not
Yeah.
as fun to play pretend in. So it's historically adjacent.
Yeah, I go with the same yardstick for most of my historical games because there are some things that you definitely don't want the to encourage the players doing.
Yeah. It's a murder mystery game mostly, and it's a game where we um all of the players are nobles. All of the characters are nobles, which means that they are rich and have servants. And we've said, I need to be able to root for you all. And I want you to have the opportunities that nobles have because I think that those types of connections are really fun. And that level of social standing is really fun.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna need to root for y'all. So like your servants are paid and get vacation and benefits and like being here.
So okay, so we started them off with the okay. You will not be playing terrible people.
No, you can have deep dark secrets and you can do terrible things, but like I have to have a baseline of how
Okay,
terrible
yeah,
you can be for me to root for you.
okay, that's fair. It's actually a very sensible starting point. And tell me, since it's kind of a Victorian setting, I'm guessing it's not as combat heavy as like the default medieval setting would be, no? Because you can't just go
It's
out and start hitting people.
Yeah, so that was part of the things that I really loved about the thought that had appeared in my brain and I had started kind of developing. Uh, Combat is my worst feature as a dungeon master, as a game master. I am just not as good at combat. Um, but you still need to do it to get better. You can't have D&D without a little bit of combat. But I love that them being nobles and stuff, they have reputations now. So they have to be a lot more sneaky about what they're wanting to do. They can't just go fireballing the door to Buckingham Palace like down and expect no consequences. They have to be a little more subtle. It's a bit more of a game of intrigue. They do still fight. I One of my favorite fights that we've done, they went into an asylum that had been taken over by hags.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That was fun. It was very dark and spooky, and they hated every minute, but they also loved it, which is like ideal.
Okay, I see
um,
that Dungeon Matron and Chris Bertrain have joined us. Hi, ladies.
hey, hello, hello. I think my
Excuse me.
with combat, I would say my combat is as much a set piece as anything else. It's not just what's the words I'm looking for? It's not just combat to be able to have combat. It's not just combat to use up your resources. It's combat with a purpose rather than here's some goblins, I guess, because you need something to do for the day.
Yeah, it's not a time filler kind of thing. Yeah, it's like it's.
Yeah.
If I understand correctly, it's a scene to drive the story forward. If I'm getting you correctly.
Yes, it is combat to drive the story, not combat just for combat's sake.
Nice. And yeah, that does fit the setting a lot better than yeah. Let's just go out and beat the crap out of some things because we can. But how do you deal with social encounters? Do you have any kind of mechanism for that, or do you just role play the whole thing?
Most of it is just roleplay.
Mm-hmm.
I have, and we're working, we're blah, 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 blah. We are working through what I would call a playtest, basically, of a reputation system that I've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
We did our first season has completed in this Victorian London game. So we're about to start up season 2, or the second arc, if you will, of the campaign. I've been framing it a lot more like seasons, like you would in a TV show or an anime, just because like they've figured out the one big bad, but there's so many questions now for season 2 to come up. So with season 2, we took a couple months break just so that I could get my bearings and make sure I knew what all I needed to plant. But with season 2, we're updating the mechanics that we're using for reputation a lot because they were just a little clunky. But if you are familiar with Good Society, the Jane Austen RPG,
I
it
have read
is
about it, but I have not played it.
okay. It is a loose basing on that with the trinkets, or if you've seen Dropouts, A Court of Fey and Flowers, they also use this. That's where I took the idea from. And it is a reputation system that, you know, if a noble is seen talking to someone at a brothel, that the eyebrows are going to get raised. That might be bad for your reputation. That might impact you in a negative way. You might not get an invite to the party, but if you have a lower reputation, waiters might be more likely to talk to, or staff might be more willing to talk to and tell you the truth rather than just a yes man.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you have a higher reputation, all eyes are on you. It's probably a little harder for you to sneak around, but every noble wants to be your bestie. Everybody wants to give you that favor, have you in their favor. So it's a little easier to manipulate those strings.
So yeah, that basically tracks where you're floating with various levels of society.
Yeah. So it's definitely not a perfect system, and we're tweaking it a lot still, but it's been really fun to see the players try and figure out what they want to do or how they are interacting with that. I also use trinkets, which
Mm-hmm.
is it's kind of an automatic success if they use a trinket. So if they have a really good roleplay scene, they get a trinket. They can use that trinket then for a guaranteed success. Can't crit, but it's a guaranteed success. And so in season 1, they could use that to attack creatures with a guaranteed success. They could use that to succeed on a persuasion check or anything like that. But we also had rumors and scandals that they could use it on to escalate a rumor, to scandalize something. So it's very, very, very different. And that's why we're having to rework it a little bit for season 2 because it was a lot of fun, but it did get convoluted pretty fast.
So, when you say that they could use a trinket to escalate a scandal or a rumor or something, would it mean like, for example, this player can start a rumor about other player or start a
Yeah.
scandal about other NPC? Ooh, okay. Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah. So my player Bernadette could start a rumor that Roscoe actually um is the bastard child of the Duke. And they could use that trinket then to escalate that from just a rumor that people are whispering about to a scandal that posts in the paper. And then I make them papers every session.
Oh, come on. Like
I make
actual
papers every
physical
session.
papers to.
Yes, actual physical papers.
Nice.
Um, and it's just like a headlines, like it's the front page and then what a page that I call the rumor mill, so that they know what's going on. So Bernadette can like say, oh, Roscoe is the bastard child of the Duke. And that could get escalated. Now it's in the papers, and now Roscoe is going to have to either do damage control, or if he wants to feed into that rumor because he thinks it might benefit him, or he could use a trinket to try and remove it from scandal, to try and pay them to not publish the story, kind of. um it's very fun to see what happens with there's a little bit of PvP there, but then NPCs can also do it. So I'll usually phrase it as an unknown entity, but someone is starting a rumor that the Lady Goldcloak is interested in dating Picklefoot, Lord Picklefoot, and she has to decide, are you going to let that rumor sit, or is it worth using a trinket on to squash that? Or do you just want to see how it plays out and what that means for you down the line?
We have a question from Chris Berterain who is asking, are trinkets one-time use?
Yes. So trinkets are one-time use. I give them out very willingly, though. So in this game, if they have like a good roleplay scene, like if we get that good role-playing scene, I give them the trinkets. They can use it at any time. I said no trinkets were moving forward after the season 1 finale that we had in May. So they had to use all of the ones that they had, or it was use it or lose it. So I'll probably do
Okay.
something similar for season 2, just so that there is a level of like, you can't hoard these things. Stop hoarding them. Because my character, all of my players are ADHD brain magpies that just want to collect little shiny trinkets in their little trinket box.
Yeah, yeah, I can relate to that. But
We did. Oh, go ahead.
no, no,
Sorry.
no, please go ahead.
Oh, which the trinket boxes I had them make trinket boxes at session 0. That was like a little craft that we all did when we got together. Is they made these little trinket
All
boxes,
right.
and these trinket boxes have a little magnet on them that they can move to show where their reputation is on the tracking, so that everyone can see how far up they are on reputation. And then, as we were talking in session 0 about, okay, what are our limits? What do we want to cover? What do we not want to cover? They can also be like painting or adding lace to these little frilly boxes that then I can put these trinkets in. And these trinkets are everything from dollar store crafts to things that I've made to, I took a deck of playing cards and spray painted them gold and just drew some little stuff on there because like I only have a limited budget.
So, Dungeon Maintenance is saying, in D&D, I always forget to use any inspiration I've earned. Having the, the trinket box and stuff does seem like a solution to that.
Yeah, because then it's physically in front of you and you have this box of goodies and you're like, I know that I can cash in this little handkerchief and I just get to win. It also means that I could throw harder monsters at them. And this probably did add to my encounter balancing issues that I've mentioned it to you, I'm sure, in Dungeon Jam. This is an oops all spellcasters game,
Okay.
which means that they're all very, very squishy, but all so powerful. And so balancing encounters around that is a challenge.
Yeah, I think spellcasters in general have this kind of the Batman problem, where like if you give them time to prepare for something, then doesn't really matter what you throw at them.
Yeah. And they are level 6 right now. So only even levels 3 through 6, like balancing to where they wouldn't go down in one hit, but also having enough HP to where it's going to last more than 2 rounds if all their hits do actually make contact did become a challenge. But by giving them those trinkets, if they choose to, they have the option to guarantee a hit on that big bad. I can make them a little more difficult to kill. I can push it a little bit more with that because I'm giving them that opportunity.
See that
They
campaign
just
trainer
have to
has joined
choose to
us?
use it.
Hi, Cross.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, the other thing I was thinking about the whole reputation system is that it gives you a whole new, and you don't even need to mechanize it because you could probably do it through role playing as well. But if you want to do a heist scenario, for example, yeah, you start the rumor that this guy is that guy's bastard. So now the auction house wants to make friends with him because he's got connections, and then you got a nice way in. I mean, it opens up options. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, there's so many options that come with it as far as like, want to do you have connections to go to this auction? Do you have connections to get this heist? Do you have connections to go talk to this beggar and get real information instead of just stuff that they're going to spew out at you because they don't trust you because you're a noble?
Yeah. Plus, also, I mean, like again, instead of breaking up the bad guy's plan by going up and punching him in the face, which is not a very period appropriate thing to do, just start a rumor and bankrupt his estates. Yeah.
That's an option. That's an option if you can figure out who the bad guy is. That's an option.
Oh yeah, that's a very important point.
I have found I really love running mysteries, and it's so interesting to me because I didn't realize how different my DMing style was until I joined Dungeon Jam and started talking about it, and everyone was like, "Hey, you're a little insane. Did you know that?" um, I didn't realize how different my style was because I love running mysteries and I love adding in clues and weaving in backstories. And then I watch these YouTube videos of people and they're like, mysteries are so hard in D&D. How do you do a mystery while having a divination wizard? I'm like, I have an eloquence bard, a grave cleric, and a divination wizard at this table. I'm so boned, but I'm doing it.
So, do you have any advice for running mysteries in general?
Um, make your players care. Make them care.
Mm-hmm.
Connect it back to their backstory, but always have more threads. So I think this actually I have my upcoming video is about running um mysteries for newbies that have never played DM or
Okay.
never played D&D. I think that mysteries are some of the best ways to get new people into D&D because that is a genre that more people are familiar with than high fantasy Lord of the Rings thing. And I don't like it, it's a 5-room dungeon. I realized this as I was writing the script. Like my go-to newbie, you've never played D&D before, here's a taste of what it's like, is a 5-room dungeon that has a mystery can of paint on it.
Okay.
So it's just instead of saying, help, the town's under attack from a dragon, can you help slay the dragon? Okay, there's no mystery there. That's not as exciting. Whereas if I say, people are going missing and there's a haunted mansion, please come save us. Like, help us stop the haunting. What's going on? Where did these people go? There are now questions. People are now interested. They want to find that plot hook. But as far as running like full campaign mysteries, I love using scrapbooks, and I know you have pictures that we'll get into later here, and just plotting out what it looks like on a big picture. So if I know that I want my final fight, my big bad boss, to be at the masquerade ball for Halloween, um, and I know I want it to be against the Chimera and the Necromancer who made the Chimera. Great. How do I get to that point? And I wanted about 5 quests that they could go on that would have different clues. And then I made sure that the clues could kind of be dragged and dropped.
Mm-hmm.
So like they had a hunch what was going on, but they didn't have enough proof, right? The proof was where the issue was, because the queen had asked them to find out who did this and to stop it, but they needed proof so that they weren't just killing random people and just claiming it,
Fair
right?
enough, yeah.
Like the queen asked them to provide proof. So that does help, because even if they figure out who it is at the very beginning, they still have to get the evidence. Um but I like making the clues pretty drag and drop. So if they decide to go to the sewers instead of to the library first, okay, well, I'll just flip flop those clues, because the first clue that they should find is this, because it's a little more vague. And then the third clue that they can find that was going to be in the library can now be somewhere else
Mm-hmm.
and more damning.
So this way, I'm guessing that you also avoid having clues tied to particular NPCs or something. So again, let's say that they blow up a building that has an NPC with a vital clue in it. Okay, they have a grave cleric. They can probably speak to the dead and stuff like that. But it also solves that problem of destroying important clues that they would otherwise miss.
Yeah, so with the exception of like who the big bad is, I try not to put clues on characters.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, if that character happens to walk into the bank and then they explode that building, that's unfortunate. Let me backtrack that. And with the exception of the big bad, because the big bad, and maybe not just like the Babig, not the big bad, but any villain,
Mm-hmm.
the necromancer, the person that is controlling the necromancer, however high up this goes, those like arc villains can have stuff on them, and I love doing that because, and I'm actually making one, and I don't think any of my players follow me, so I think this is safe to show. But I'm making a journal for uh my season 2 big bad that will have some more clues in it that they will have to figure out.
Nice.
But it's her journal, so like it's going to be on her person. They're not just going to find this and have all of the answers. This is the plot hook for season 3. This is once she's down,
Oh, you're
they're
thinking
going to
that far
find
ahead.
this.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and I think for mysteries you almost have to. Not to say it can't change, not to say that I won't completely change this based on what they decide to do if they come up with something that's more interesting. And I think that that's also really important, is to make sure that they be flexible and willing to change things, because your players are going to do shit that you're never going to be able to think of, and that's okay.
Whisperter is saying she's obsessed with your props.
I am too. I love them a lot. I love doing creative stuff. So this is like peak.
You know, one thing I noticed about that journal, for example, is that it's nice and chunky and it's got a lot of text in it. It's not like handing out, yep, you find the journal, here's a handout with the information that you need. It's like they do have to read through that and figure things out. Again, it's really immersive. I like that.
Yeah. And even the ones, so I had a journal that they found in the last season, and it was just printed paper. Now, I used vintage looking paper. I used like
Ooh.
faded vintage paper. But it was just like 5 journal entries on this because I was running out of time and I didn't have a journal to write in actually. But the thing that I love to do for this, and I'll show you more when we get to actually looking at my props, is that I have specific fonts on Google Docs that I will use for each NPC. So if they get a letter with an NPC stamp that's supposed to be from Dr. Stevenson, but it's not the handwriting that Dr. Stevenson has, they might have an imposter on their hands.
Oh. Oh, well, okay.
How many sessions are in a season? Sorry, I just saw the question from Questboard Terrain. How many sessions are in a season, and is a season considered a full adventure? I think it could be. I framed it originally that a season 1 could wrap up the adventure. So the season 1 adventure was the queen has gathered this group of people and said, you need to stop this thing. There's murders happening. You need to make it stop, or I'm going to blackmail you and lose all of your secrets. And season 1 got us through that. And then it started hinting at some of the other secrets and other things that I had happening, because I wanted to interweave every single one of my players' backstories so that they had a reason to continue. But if you were to stop at season 1, like, you did what you were supposed to. We all have a happy ending, kind of. And that's that. If they're sick of it, they want to move on to a different character. We can't make it work anymore because people moved or whatever. Everyone was very committed and is very intent on coming back for season 2, though. So I'm very, very pleased with that. I would say it took about 16 sessions, but we meet monthly. And we do really long sessions. So it's from like 1 p.m. to like 8 or 9 p.m. We have a dinner break in there. There is a break. But it's like a full day of D&D once a month that we meet. So those
nice.
sessions, there'd probably be more sessions if you were to like stretch them out over, say, 3 once every other week or something. And I would not be able to do the props that I do if we met more often.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think it must take you a fair amount of time to do that.
Yes.
So, Dungeon Matron is saying, I both hate and love when I have smart players and they figure things out. It shows they're engaged, but it also means I need to step things up.
My players are so smart. I play with some of the smartest people that I know. But also, my God, are they dumb? They'll figure out the gimmick right away. And I was so satisfied because they figured out a gimmick right away that I used invisible ink and like black light.
Really?
Because
Okay.
I mentioned that there was a letter, but there was some weird blue fireflies, and things seemed to kind of glow near those fireflies. So they learned to take the letter over to the fireflies, and I actually had one of those lanterns that had like black light fairy lights in it
Okay.
to make it look like they had caught the fireflies for them to use to light up this letter. And so they figured that out right away, but they forgot to turn over to the back of the letter to read it. they thought it was going to be on the front instead of and I was like, guys, you got to flip it. Like, you got to. So.
Okay.
And at some point, it's are you testing your players or are you testing your characters? And playing that game is a very different game. But I also intentionally picked my players for this game really specifically because I knew that they would have a fun time and that they would be really good at this type of game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think that this kind of game is rather more satisfying because it engages the players more. It's not about your character sheet. It's not about what numbers you roll. It's like, yeah, there's a puzzle in front of you. Figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think one of the main issues I have with running mystery games, for example, is that look, everyone I play with knows pretty much all of the tropes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and even if there isn't any evidence in game, they'll probably, yep, it's that guy. It's him. And I'd say that about 80% of the time they're probably right.
I think, yeah. I mean, there's something to be said about like, yeah, that's him. Okay, but what's the why?
Plus, as you said,
why is he doing it though?
Mhm. Plus, as you said, you also said, nope, you have to have evidence. You have to find the proof.
Yeah. So the premise of this game, and I think that this premise should be stolen and used at any mystery game by all means. So all of my characters were nobles. I made them when they created their characters. They have to have deep dark secrets. Not just like, oh, I slept with this lady, like I have a mistress who's not my wife. Like I mean like career life ruining secrets. Um that if they were to get out, it would destroy you. And I told them this session 0, like I had individual session 0s because this was also secret from the other players.
Hmm.
Of like, and I told them ahead of time, like, you're getting blackmailed. Like, this is the plot. This is session 1. You're getting blackmailed. You're coming. The queen has ordered you to solve this, or she's going to reveal what is on these envelopes, and I need to know what's in these envelopes for this secret. What's the worst possible thing? So one of my characters is actually Jack the Ripper.
Oh, okay. All right.
We have, again, I needed them to be good enough for me to root for, so we did change up who, like, what Jack the Ripper is and the reasons for the killings. It's not all just, you know, ladies of the night getting killed, it's other people as well. One of them stole their sister's eyes and has been impersonating their sister as the ambassador of France for the last 3 years. One of them is actually Frankenstein's monster. Like, all of them are like, are you sure this isn't going to be 2 main characters? No, give me more, actually. Actually, you can do so much more. Be as insane as you want to, because it just gives me more fodder. So, like, they had these huge life-ruining secrets to protect, and that's what made them want to get on it. But because the queen is ordering you to solve it, you better make damn sure that who you're framing or pinning this on is correct, because if you tell the queen that this is solved and then it's not solved, you're ruined. You're being hung in the streets, like drawn and quartered, Tower of London with you. So yeah, definitely, please steal that idea. I don't care if it's Victorian London or not. Blackmail your players. It's really fun.
Those are some great ideas they came up with. And do you also use that as part of the backstory during the game, or is that just no, like the most extreme thing that could possibly happen?
The most extreme thing that could happen, like with my character, like that my characters did, or
No, in the sense that, okay, the secret in the envelope is like the nuclear option, but is it also something that you wire into the rest of the plot, or is it something that you leave on the side? Just keep it quiet. If it comes up, it comes up.
I usually try to weave it into the plot because I think it's more fun. So, I mentioned one of my players is actually Jack the Ripper.
Hmm.
Well, Jack the Ripper's been having these murders get pinned on him because Scotland Yard doesn't know who's causing these murders, and one unsolved murderer is plenty. Let's not send the people into a panic with another one. So, hey, Jack, you're getting a lot of heat that's not you. And this is so messy. Like, this is not your MO. This is not your handiwork. It's a little offensive, actually. So I love doing that. And, like, my players, again, I pick your players. I think we hear the advice to players of picking the right table for you a lot. But DMs, pick your players well too, because I would not run this type of game for a different table. Like my Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign group is super fun and we have a blast, but it is not this like insane roleplay style thing. My Wild Beyond the Witchlight group, like we're doing haha silly stuff. Like I gave them the bag of beans of wild magic and they're just having a blast and shenaniganing, whereas this is much more high intrigue. And it's just the players are very different players and would handle these things differently. So pick your players well. But so like Frankenstein's monster is part of like a necromantic society, but is keeping his identity secret. Well, that necromantic society is a little bit problematic. It's a little under heat because, you know, dead things are going missing and for this chimera experimentation that's been happening. So they're a little bit under scrutiny, so they're struggling. the sister's eyes. She's trying to figure out who killed her sister. Um, is that related to who's also the necromancer? Is it related to something else? That backstory is actually weaved into a different person's backstory, and if those two backstories are weaved in together, I better make that part of the plot. So even if it's not front and center with my Jack the Ripper Chimera
Hmm.
season 1 arc, I'm planting those seeds and dropping those hints that they're probably interwoven and that you guys should maybe do some digging on some downtime. Yes, I did say that dead things were going missing. It was I love body horror. I'm a big FromSoft fan. I have the Bloodborne lantern tattooed on my arm. Um, I love body horror. So, to quote my players, um, this game is light body horror with high intensity pining. So yeah, we do have a fair amount of body horror, things going missing, getting grafted, chimera style, like necromancy, like stitched together type of chimera, rather than the Greek monster.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you said about having the right players for the table because there's no wrong way of playing, but not every style is right for everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to your video about running mysteries now because I mean, all this sounds amazing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the campaign itself is really fun, and running a campaign like this is so player heavy. Like they're yes, I'm making a bunch of props and stuff, but they're really doing a lot of heavy lifting here on like pushing things forward and bringing it back to light. And I'm working on again my Wild Beyond the Witchlight group. That is a bit more shenanigany. Um, After we get done with Wild Beyond the Witchlight, I want to get them like going on a 1920s detective murder mystery kind of vibe.
Ooh,
Is what we're going to be doing next, I think. So I'll have more mysteries then to talk about too. But at least for newbies, it's a 5-room dungeon with a can of mystery paint. Spoiler, that's the video that's going to come out. But one of these days I'll make a full like how to run a mystery campaign video. But it's so reliant on your players.
yeah, that makes sense. Now, speaking of videos, you recently had kind of a Hodag bender.
Yeah, yeah, we could call it that.
Okay, so it was super interesting because I had never heard of the thing before. And I actually have a question here first. Quest for Terrain, is D&D your favorite system?
It is the system I know the best, is how I'll answer that. So I have played and ran 5 and 5.5. I am playing a 3.5 campaign. I am also playing. I just did a session 0 for a Powered by the Apocalypse campaign, but it's West Marches, so it's going to take me a while to get in the hang of that. And then we play Daggerheart every other week or so. And I think Daggerheart might be my favorite, but I don't know it as intimately, so it's a lot easier for me to just slot things in for D&D. Just because I need more experience with Daggerheart still.
So we're saying, yeah, about the Hodag. That was super interesting. How did you pick on that to do? I think that was for Fey Week, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It started with Fey Week, and then Fey Week got really popular, so I, at least by my numbers, it did really well. So I figured let's bring back the Hodag for 5-room dungeon, do a whole adventure with him and see how that does, and that also did really well. So I definitely have a couple more cryptids I want to do videos on, but I
Oh,
do want to
nice.
like go to their hometown again and do some more on spot filming like that. and I don't know when that will happen. I kind of gotta watch my days off from corporate job stuff, but definitely something I want to do. The
Is that
Hodag, I picked the Hodag because I wanted to do something tied to the real world.
mhm.
Um, because it was Fae week, right? And Fae are so intertwined with folk tales and fairy tales, obviously. And I thought about originally talking about like a Brothers Grimm thing or like talking about hags, because I do love hags, probably about as much as Pointy Hat does. Um, but I was like, there's gotta be someone that, there's gotta be something local that I can use. So I looked and I found the Hodag, and I had heard of the Hodag before. I knew he was a cryptid here in Wisconsin, but when I just started doing the research and seeing what his backstory was, I was like, that's a Fae. Like, he kind of looks like a beast, but he's a Fae. So we made him a Fae. And I asked
Okay.
Naigobi. Naigobi did amazing artwork of him.
Yeah, that's
Love my little
heckin'
guy
cute.
there.
So, and the other cryptids that you mentioned, are they also in kind of your general area, or do you have to travel further afield to have a look at them?
Yeah, we actually have a lot. So
Yeah.
I'm in Wisconsin, and we have a lot. Um, Dungeon Matron asked if I like Call of Cthulhu. I have not played yet. I own the rulebook. I haven't played yet. I do plan to play soon. I'm trying to get someone to DM it for me so I can play it before I run it myself.
Okay,
But
I think Dungeon Matron just adopted you into her Call of Cthulhu circle.
perfect. Because I love Eldritch stuff and Bloodborne kind of like that is right up my alley. So I know I would love Call of Cthulhu. I just haven't had a chance to play it yet. But as far as cryptids, we have a lot. So a lot of people have probably heard that Wisconsin is where D&D was created. That's where Gary Gygax is from, was Lake Geneva, which is
I
why
heard
Gen Con is
I heard there
called.
was an argument about that last week. Yeah.
Yeah, so Arneson, I think his name is David Arneson,
Yeah.
was the co-creator of D&D, who is from the Twin Cities. Now, I happen to live um, pretty close to the Twin Cities as well. I would say Minnesconsin is what we call our
Okay.
area because we're right on the border there. So Gen Con is called that because of Lake Geneva, which is where Gygax grew up, where D&D was born. Twin Cities, Minneapolis obviously has a big part of that with the wargaming and thing. So between those two states, we have a lot of cryptids, and I think that that's where a lot of the inspiration came from. I'm pretty convinced, actually, that like Faerun is very. I know people are like, "Oh, it's like traditional medieval England or like traditional medieval Europe." No, that's just Wisconsin, dog. That's just Wisconsin. We have Devil's Lake. We have Witch's Gulch. We have Death's Door. Like that. We have sirens in our lakes. We have cryptids. We have the Beast of Bray Road is a werewolf. We're not,
Okay, it
we're
sounds like pretty rich country or folklore.
yeah, we're rich with folklore here. We have the Trollway. We have a lot of trolls in Wisconsin.
Is it like a place with a lot of Scandinavian or German settlers?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
both. We have a large amount of Norse settlers, specifically Norwegian in particular. You'll see a little bit of Swedish, and my husband is aggressively Finnish. Um, but most of it is Norwegian.
Okay.
And then we also have a large amount of German. Like every small town up here has their own Oktoberfest. Um, and we also have a lot of French.
Hey, okay.
So
So
I grew up in Texas.
campaign
No
today is
recollection.
saying, yeah, I grew up in Texas, but had heard of the Hodag. No recollection of how. I used to have a married couple of friends, Wisconsinian transplants.
Wisconsin.
Maybe from them. Anyway, good on ya, spreading the word.
Yeah, Wisconsinites. Probably I did talk about the Hodag. It also there's been an episode of Scooby Doo that he's on.
Really? Okay.
He was also in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Apparently, I haven't seen the movie, but I was told that he's mentioned in it. Um, but he's also in Scooby Doo. But yeah, he's in a good chunk. If they like cryptids, do I have my book here? Yeah. This is a great book if you are. I don't know if this is reversed or not, but United States of Cryptids is an
United
excellent
States
book
of
that
Cryptids.
I
Okay.
would recommend. It's got gold foil, so I don't know how well it's going to show up. There we
Okay,
go.
it
Now you
shows
can
up
see it
fine
a bit
right now.
better.
Nice.
But it talks about all the cryptids in the U.S. And a lot of them are in Wisconsin, like a lot of them.
All right. So I guess you've got yourself pretty busy with a series about that. You've got a lot of running around to do.
I do. I have it, and I'm trying to space them out because I only have so many days off to like go explore and film things, and between D&D on Saturdays and everything, I only have so many days off. But also, I don't want to run out of them. Like I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean there's no rush.
Yes.
So
Polish, Irish, Germans, Italians, French settled in Wisconsin. Yeah, we have a definitely a melting pot. Um, of course, Native Americans are also here. I live in a very indigenous area as well. Um, Irish, Polish, Italian can be found. They're not as common in my neck of the woods, at least. Um, but again, once at some point, it's just a giant melting pot. So, um, but I think the German, the Scandinavian, and the French are the ones that I see. You can see it the most, at least like in the town name. Well, outside of Native American, you can see a lot in our town names. But in the town festivals and in the local bakeries and everything, you see those are the ones that I see stick out the most.
okay, and good morning, Mr. Vincent, by the way. Okay, Benjamin is saying, I love learning about cryptids. Monstrum is one of my favorite YouTube channels. That channel is fantastic.
For sure. But yeah, I think D&D is actually based in Wisconsin. Faerun is just Wisconsin. That's my working theory.
Okay, it is a good theory, I think, because yeah, Faerun doesn't look like that much like medieval Europe. It's definitely very American.
Mm-hmm.
But
Very.
shall we jump over and have a look at some of the pictures that you sent me? Because we've been talking about your props all evening, and I'm sure the people want to see them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, so this is where the magic happens, right?
Yes. So this is our Mr. Vincent, the home of American beers thanks to those immigrants. Yes, we are home to beer, cheese, and beer cheese here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, yeah. You
Which
had
is
mentioned beer cheese, and it's like it's a very alien concept to me, but it sounds interesting.
yeah, you take cheese, you mix it with beer. Congrats, you now have a dip or a soup. Great. It's really good. Very like stick to your bones hearty. But yes, so this table that that we're looking at here, this is a redo. So this is all of my husband's handiwork. He is the one that absolutely made the magic happen here. He took one of those. It was a hex-shaped table that expands to have a leaf in the middle, and he took that. And then he took another hex-shaped leaf expanding table, and we got these for like $15 on Facebook Marketplace from
Nice.
locals. And he added a vault on the inside. So this does actually come apart and shrink back down, so where we can put it away because our game room is also our guest room. And then the pink chairs were originally orange. And they were free. The local hotel was renovating, and so they were getting rid of all of their office chairs. So
Nice.
we took them for free, and I dyed them, cleaned them up, stained, redid them, and then that picture was pre-stain. It looks like, but we've stained and sealed the tables since then as well. Maybe the
So
stain's on there. I can't tell.
I think I think it was mid-process because you've got the stain on the end vault over here.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
So the two-leaf tape. That's actually a very nice way of doing it.
Yeah. So, is it perfect? No, but and there's just another image of the table. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But it is ours, and it was cheap to do, and it just works really well for us. Because there's so much writing space, there's so much space to move around with this. Where my laptop is where the DM kind of sits like in this closet. In the other photo, you could see there like the closet was painted purple and it's got those curtains up. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna backlight it to where like it's almost like a stage for me to frame the DM, whether it's me being the
Okay.
DM or a friend is being the DM. All those drawers and stuff are filled with many minis and props and trinkets, and um, that barrel is going to be a surprise for later.
Okay.
Um, it's a project that I have not done yet, but my players for season 2 of our Fogs game are going to a cognac distillery. So I found an old barrel, and I'm gonna do something with it. I don't entirely know what yet, but I've got some ideas.
Okay, that's taking the definitely taking the props to a whole different level. Okay, so let me
Um,
see.
Having trouble. Oh, my dog is being obnoxious, so I like leaned over to start petting him, so I'm not quite as centered as I was. My bad.
That's okay. I just recentered you. Okay, and actually, yeah, with the laptop, it actually shows that there's quite a lot of room in there. I do
Mhm.
have a question about the vault, though. Doesn't that make it uncomfortable because you have to reach over and look into it and
It's not too bad. Um, we had so this was our recent project. We just finished this up. So we only had one session using it. And I, sitting on the end there with my laptop, could bend over, with my DM screen and everything. I could bend over and move everything just fine without
okay.
issues. So I have to assume my players would also be able to do so. Um, we weren't really in a combat situation on Friday when we tested it in my Witchlight campaign. It was just more for sake of, showing where you're at on a map. So there wasn't a ton of movement, but definitely works best if you kind of sit in the more narrow sides of the table.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But it does work. I was able to just stand and bend over and move the pieces without issue.
Yeah. I mean, like as long as everyone sees where everything is, it's pretty good. And okay, and we've got the DM's view here.
Yeah. So that big blue cabinet in the back there, that's actually a custom Murphy bed cabinet. So that pulls down to be our guest bed.
Okay.
And again, my husband is the best. My husband's amazing. He did all of this. I found a hardware kit online, and he took that and the measurements and made a custom frame for the queen bed that we had. So we have a really nice, like, cushy queen bed, like pillow top mattress in there, as opposed to like the shitty, 3-inch mattress that's in a lot of Murphy beds. So it's really comfortable for our guests to stay, which is why it's important that that table then can collapse and get smaller to fit in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
And then the chairs can just go either into my office here or into the garage or something just out of the way easy enough if someone needs to spend the night.
Yeah, that's super efficient.
Yeah. And then we have the right side is a bunch of TTRPG books, and the left side is more like for funsies books. I would say the right side also has a bunch of my reference stuff for like cosplay books. I don't know if that picture is going to show you any details there.
Well, I see
Um,
you've got the best version of Robin Hood ever committed to film.
yeah, so that is a limited edition doll set from Disney.
Oh wow, okay.
So it's a doll of Maid Marian and Robin Hood in there. Um, But there's a couple of little trinkets there. One of my scrapbooks is sitting up there and needs to go back. I see now. Um, but yeah, we have a bunch. I have a lot of third party stuff. Um,
Oh, I've put it the Trex deck of magic items.
yeah. Trex magic items are there. Um, a lot of card decks. Ginny D's Boons and Banes, the Wild Magic deck from D&D Shorts is on there.
Do you have any books in here on either shelf that you consider to be essential reading? The kind of thing that either, yeah, anyone who wants to be a GM should read this, or even in general, this is a great book, read it, it will make your life better.
So my favorite book of all time is The Book Thief,
Mm-hmm.
which is up on that shelf somewhere on the left side. It is a World War II historical fiction written from the point of view of death. That's about as much as I can tell you about it. So you will cry. You will cry. But it is such a good book.
Oh, here it is.
Yes. Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, also very good. High fantasy heist, thievery situation. A lot of these are my husband's books, actually. So those I would definitely suggest. As far as for DMs, I don't think it's actually up on that shelf yet because I think it was sitting, I think I was using it on the coffee table. I just recently picked up Steinhardt. Oh, yeah, it's on the table there. Steinhardt's Guide to the Eldritch Hunt, I just picked up.
Ah, there you go.
And if you are like me and love Bloodborne and love Eldritch Horror, boy, is that the book for you.
Really? All right.
It
Okay,
is,
that's good to know.
if you look at, and you can't see it in that picture because I've got the GM screen over it, but the cover of the book, if you were to actually go look it up, it's literally just the cleric beast. Like that's the cleric beast. It's so good for Eldritch Horror. I've got a couple of really good PDFs that aren't even up here yet. Obviously, your standard Monster Manual, Dungeons Master Guide. I think that's really those three like main books is all I have for 5.5. If you like historical stuff, I've got a Historica Arcanum set from Metis Creative.
What's that?
Historica Arcanum. It's the big blue box over on the right. It's like there's a whole set. But they just kickstarted, and I think you can do a late backing on Backer Kit or Kickstarter or whatever. But they just did a Salem themed adventure.
Oh, okay.
So there's that. It's that big blue box there on the bookshelf.
This one, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are probably the big ones. I don't think that any of these books are truly necessary to be a DM. I don't think that there's anything on there that's like, oh my gosh, this is going to just change your world, because every DM is different. What works for me isn't going to necessarily work for you. But if you like historical stuff, Historic Arcanum is a great thing. If you like Eldritch Horror, Steinhardt's Guide to the Eldritch Hunt is there. I think I've got the Dark Souls Bestiary from their game on there somewhere,
Okay.
Which I've also used. So yeah, it just depends on what you're up to. Ryoko's Guide is solid. I just go through and I find cool stat blocks, and that's what I throw at my players because they don't.
Like,
They're veterans and they're sick of seeing your standard goblins and trolls.
So, like most of us, you can cannibalize bits and pieces from different sources.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's have a look at what goes on the table now. And we mentioned props earlier, and you've got this envelope, which you really commit to the bit, don't you?
Yeah, so I do commit to the bit. I have wax and wax seals that I use. So now I only have so many wax seals. So there's no. Also, I love that my nails match today with the seal. I commit to the bit. So if my players know that this particular seal is the royal seal in my game, partially because I happen to have it and it's the most royal looking seal that I have. And I only have so many. So they know that red and that little dragon mark is always the royal seal. Here's a picture of some of my other seals. I put this in a scrapbook page and just with tape so that I would know what pattern to use for what and what has and hasn't been claimed. So if the gold cloaks send you a thing and theirs is black and gold or gold and red or whatever color I said it was, I used whatever just for this. I put it in whatever wax that I happen to have that I wasn't using as much of. So it's this pattern, but it would be gold and red if it was coming from the gold cloaks. If you get that symbol, but it's not gold and red, it might not be them.
Oh, wow.
Or someone might be trying to imitate it. You know, if it's not right.
You know, I'm starting to think that because you mentioned earlier the handwriting fonts, the color of
Mm-hmm.
the seals and so on. It does sound like a minefield sometimes to interpret all these these
Yeah,
clubs.
I have transparently, like, I did not use that. I gave them a heads up in season 1 that was a thing that could happen. It hasn't happened yet.
You know, but again, just putting the thought that just planting the seed that it might happen is enough to make people paranoid, which is fantastic.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I think that mostly works with also good communication to your players, because there have definitely been times where I was like, hey, just a heads up, I did not have time to seal these letters. They are from who they say they are. Like, above table, this is who they're from. This is what it says it is. I did not have time. My bad. And I have handed out letters before, but
Okay, and this is the way the letters look.
yeah. Yeah, and that's one of my letters. So this particular NPC uses this font. I believe that's for Stevenson. That was Dr. Stevenson's handwriting. I do say was because he is no longer with us. um,
Okay, and you've got this one, which is more like an invitation of some kind. So it
yeah,
looks like
so
there's a story here.
yeah, so intentionally, so the Lady Janice is a recurring NPC that has become a fan favorite. Her invitations for her big ball that was happening, which is the ball where all of the finale stuff went down, was pink. And she
Hmm.
always uses pink stationery. So I just made that a thing. But everyone got this exact same invitation of, on the evening of Friday the 12th and at 8 p.m. or Friday the 18th at 8 p.m. Blah, 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 blah. And she sent that out. But they found this in the sewers. This was one of the, so that they learned that whoever was responsible for the mystery was going to be at that party when they went to the sewers. So I printed a spare one off and I folded it up and then I beat the shit out of it and took it outside and rubbed mud on it and stepped on it a bunch.
Okay.
Immersion,
Yeah.
because it was in the sewers.
Nice.
I sprinkled some water on it. I got it some damage. Like, yeah.
Okay. And let's see. Oh, I also really like this one.
I'm so proud of this. I'm so proud of this. So it is one of those like storage books, like the
Hmm.
cardboard storage books.
Like a box file kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like the book safe type of thing. And it originally had like a pasta theme or something. It was from Michael's and for like $2 in their clearance bin from a craft store. And I got some air dried clay and I kind of molded a face shape. I was loosely basing it on the Necromancy of Thay book from
Hmm.
Baldur's Gate. So I kind of made it that shape. And then because of who I am as a person, I had a big batch of resin dental grade teeth that I then added. um, because that's horrifying. And then I
Yeah,
just used tissue paper and Mod Podge to give it like a really like gross dried out skin texture, and then painted over it.
I'm gonna be honest. I just only noticed the teeth now, and I was like, wait, what?
Um, so yeah, so that I love the teeth because they're horrifying. But then I painted it with the tissue paper Mod Podge to give it like a crinkle, a dried skin texture.
Yep.
And then I didn't take a picture of them, and they didn't turn out super good. Like they're not my favorite prop that I've ever made, but I made these little green gemstones that could go into the eye and mouth holes
Hmm.
to unlock spooky evil book. So when my players found all three hag stones is what I called them, they could open up the spooky evil book and see the next picture.
Okay, so is the next picture the inside of the book or the one where you have it open?
I'm hoping the one that it's where I have it open. Yeah, ooh, so I could open it up and it glows green, and um, it looks super cool and spooky. And this
It
was
does,
really
yeah.
hard for me to get a picture of, like holding this giant book with my camera. Like that was a challenge. Um, but it looks really cool because like then green magic comes out, and I know necromancy of Thay is purple, but I went green because it's what I had on hand, and because it's legally distinct necromancy of Thay. uh but yeah, the inside of it, and you can feel free to move it. You know those cards, you can tell I didn't decorate the inside, but you know those cards that when you open it up to like sing happy birthday at you.
Yeah, yeah.
So my husband is amazing, and I make him do all of my hard tech work. If it's not making it pretty, I don't do it. He got some LED strip, and then the mechanism is what makes a card sing, and he
Okay.
just wired it to the LEDs instead of to a music thing.
Nice.
So
All
when
right.
it closes, it turns off, but then when it opens, it lights up.
Okay. Okay. So he basically used repurposed the switch from the card as a trigger for this one. Nice.
Yeah. Um, and then it's the book storage, so like if I want to put little spell scrolls or something in there, I can put spell scrolls in there, and I can be like, okay, here you go. Or they can or if I have multiples of them, I could roll them up, and they can just like pick a random spell scroll to learn. Or I've got a couple of different uses for it. I've used it now in 2 different campaigns. Um, to the shock of no one, the Fogs of London cast, they ate this shit up, and they're like, I want to learn the stupid curse stuff. I don't care if it makes my character a bad person. I want to learn the evil cursed stuff. And my Witchlight campaign, I really thought that they would jump the gun on this one, and they were like,
Hmm.
absolutely not. Evil book, don't want to touch it. Don't want to touch it. Burn it. Throw it in the river. We don't want it. So mileage may vary.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, like the glow effect is crazy cool. I mean, you could
Yeah,
literally use this as your for DM notes. It's like, yeah, I'm going to throw something worse at you, and it opens
and
up with the
hide a
green glow and
mini in
stuff.
there.
For
What if
example,
you
yeah.
hide a mini in there and take out? You just like your evil necromancer is like doing the summoning thing, and then they just like summon a dragon out of this glowing green book. That would be sick as hell. I'm stealing that. Thanks, Karl. I'm stealing that idea.
Anything to terrify people. Okay, so there was one thing that I didn't quite understand, so I'm not sure what this is
Yeah.
exactly.
So those were, I was using them to make dragon scales, is what I was hoping to go for.
Hmm.
They're plastic spoons.
All right.
It's plastic spoons that I glued together. And it looks more obvious that it's dragon scales. This is actually an old cosplay trick. You can use plastic spoons to make like scale mail armor.
Okay.
But I only wanted a chunk of them because it was one of the first pieces of evidence that my players found in like their Chimera Fogs of London thing. So I wanted to like paint them black, and then I gave them like an iridescent dusting of like purple and green on there because spooky.
Yeah.
And the Chimera has a dragon head, so it would make sense that maybe some scales fell off if they smacked into a building or something. Um, So I just hot glued 3 of them. They're definitely not my best work, but it was a little bit of a rush job. But I just really liked this because it was like you don't have to resin make something. You don't have to buy super expensive like scale mail pieces. Like I used plastic spoons and some hot glue and it got the point across. And I think that that's important for people to remember.
Yeah, I mean, like you don't need a. I mean, I think even theater props don't need to be at a super high level, but especially if it's for a game, you don't need to break the bank and probably your sanity to get things across.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we have a box of resin teeth.
Yeah, so you can actually buy these on Amazon for it was like $20 for like 3 people's worth of teeth, which is a little horrifying. I still have so many teeth. If you need teeth, I got you. Um, I had a little trinket box that I either found this trinket box like in my stash somewhere or I got it really cheap at a thrift store that I put them in. And so it was really fun. It was so funny to just be like, yeah, congrats, you get a trinket after that amazing roleplay scene that you just had. And they open up this box and there's teeth.
So the trinket is a
And
box of teeth.
the trinket was the box of teeth. That was a and then the bloody handkerchief is just a shitty handkerchief off of Amazon that I painted um, with brown and red. And it's, again, not the most accurate. It's also really bad polyester. Like, it's the most plasticky polyester I've ever seen, but it does the trick for a table.
It certainly conveys the idea in this picture.
Yeah, I thought this picture was just a really good picture. I also have a little trinket box that's, again, similar to that. A little trinket box that has those stick on like the plastic like French tip fake nails you can get.
Hmm.
I took those and I put some dark red brown paint on the inside of them, like bloody fingernails.
Okay.
Um, they were exploring in a morgue. It's fine. It's not like I'm doing this willy nilly. Like there was a reason that the trinkets were this gross. Um,
I mean, it's not a question of them being particularly gross. I mean, like if you playing one of our Call of Cthulhu games, for example, it isn't even Tuesday.
yeah, this is probably nothing for Call of Cthulhu regulars, I'm sure. But yeah, that's I love gross things. I love giving my players gross things and making them deal with it.
Okay, so let's see. Potion bottles. I believe this was one of your early videos, yeah?
Yeah, I did a really early video about props and stuff when I first started, and I should really go back and remake them in hindsight now that I know like how to edit and everything. Um, the cheap bottles were from Amazon. They are glass, which is kind of nice. The corks do not stay well, but they don't have to for these purposes. And I got some red D4s and put them in, but I like using tissue paper in my uh potions because it's not as messy and not as permanent as like liquid or um like painting the inside of the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
But also I wanted something other than just dice and it being empty because sometimes potions do other things. Like I think I took a random picture of like a purple one for like hill giant strength or whatever color you decide purple means or whatever you think purple is. That one, and I love using the tissue paper because you can mix it up. One of my DMs does a wild magic potion that I've absolutely ripped off of him
Mm-hmm.
and put in other games, but you get the healing potion, you get the full healing effect, but also something else might happen. And you have to roll to decide if you're on the sorcerer wild magic, the barbarian wild magic, or a different wild magic table, and then you go from there to figure out what happens. So sometimes you might turn into a houseplant, and other times you might get transported to the astral sea for a round. You never really know. You might summon a flump that will explode on your enemies for you. I've seen a lot happen when we use these, and they're just always really fun. So I figured it would be really fun to like, yes, there's the red healing magic, but if you want to like visually show your players that like this potion is different, let's just throw in some other colors of tissue paper in there because I like that it's temporary and it's easy to swap out.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things where you've got a physical reminder there. That's like, yep, you have potions. Remember to drink your potions.
Yeah, and I don't use these a ton for like again not for fogs with my veteran players. I don't
Hmm.
have to use these a ton, but for my newbies, if I'm doing a newbie one shot, I'm absolutely giving them that like physical reminder that they have a potion because they will forget because they're trying to even remember what the heck initiative even is.
Yeah, absolutely. So it does make things a lot more straightforward for everyone.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that you've got here is one of your journals, and I just wanted to bring this up because I love how organized these things are.
It
Okay, I believe
is
this
the
is for
only way.
Daggerheart, yeah?
Yes, so this is my Daggerheart one. Um it is the only way that I can keep myself sane, I have found. Daggerheart doesn't need it as much. I would probably be okay with in Daggerheart without one of these because it's all card based.
Hmm.
But like there's so much to look at on a D&D spreadsheet. And I have to like I don't need to remember that my person has a 30-foot speed. What I need to remember is how to get heckin' sneak attack cuz I don't ever remember that.
I believe
Um
this is this is one for D&D, I think, yeah?
yes, so that is my level 12 rogue. Um 13 maybe? I don't remember. Uh I should probably double check that. And I love that I can use dry erase on these plastic sheets in the binder so that if things change like my hit points, I can just do that and I can just use whiteout. Some people use pencil and it would look a lot nicer if I used pencil. I'm a pen girly. I will just use whiteout or I will just remake the page if I need to. Um so
Yeah,
like what her spell save is, what is her AC, what are these specialty things that she has? I am remembering that I need to add a page for her because some other things happened in that campaign recently that I need to add and I haven't. Um,
that's okay.
but it's a nice reminder and I keep these little pencil pouches in there that has her mini, a pen, a chapstick because if I'm leaving the house I always need chapstick and my dry erase marker and
Okay.
it just carries everything with me.
What are these other...
Those are either stickers that I didn't use or art
Oh,
that
okay.
I didn't have room for. So if I need to add more pages or I want to switch stuff out, I didn't want to just throw them away because they're perfectly good. So I just shoved them in the pockets. But
Fair
I
enough,
love
yeah.
that there are pockets in these binders because I like having the options.
Yeah. I mean, speaking as someone, mostly when I have a character sheet that's more complex than a physical character sheet, usually it ends up like a crumpled piece of paper in the bottom of whatever bag I'm using. So, I mean, seeing these are super organized. I love them.
I love how that they keep it organized. I've found it definitely works better for martial players when it comes to D&D
Hmm.
because you do have to figure out how to keep track of your spells and stuff. So for my rogue, she's an arcane trickster, so she does have some spells, but it's not a ton and they don't get swapped out a ton. Um so that's nice. But so I have those just like on additional pages after her inventory. And then just a little like circles that I can cross off when I've used her spell slots.
Okay.
I think there's a picture in there somewhere on a different page. But
Let's see. This one? Yeah.
there's her inventory. And there's a different there should maybe did I not send that one? Oh maybe. Oh there
I this is the Gerhardt one.
okay.
Uh, no, I think
Are those the only two? Okay, okay.
that's one.
Well, there's a couple of different ones. I've got two different YouTube videos about character binders on my
Yep.
YouTube, so you can go check those out and you'll see what I'm talking about. I've got one making my Dagger Heart binder and one making my Faye's second binder because the first one was for Curse of Strahd. And I wanted to keep that one as like a memory thing
Mm-hmm.
because it was my first campaign. We fully completed it. So as is, she got the killing blow on Strahd with a nat 20. It was
Heck
all
yeah.
very like it was like I'm keeping this one as is. So when we decided to take those characters and then go into another high level campaign, I just made her a new binder. So I have those on my channel. You can go check out if you want to. But cards I have found work the best for spellcasters. I have one for a warlock as well,
Mm-hmm.
where I actually
Okay, in the meantime, let me drop
reaching
the
this.
link to your channel again in the chat, and of course, it's also in the description below.
Haha. Yeah. So for my warlock, she's if it can be ritual cast, I put it on a little card
Ah,
just
okay.
to free up space.
That's sufficient.
But then yeah. So I have space to add more if because I'll look ahead a couple of levels and just see like do I know what I want already? Because if I know that I'm gonna get like 2 more spells next level, I could go ahead and just put them in here and then just like cross them out, knowing so I know I don't have them actually. And then where is my? So I'll try and. Warlocks are silly and don't get a lot of spell slots, but I do this like circle thing where you can see like level 1 spell,
Mm-hmm.
level 2 spell, and I just 2 of that, and then I can cross off how many I've got going. So.
Nice. Yeah, and so in one place, it's expandable. So yeah, I mean, this is a really good idea.
Yeah, so Ginny D is who gave me the idea. I am not responsible for this idea. Ginny D is. I'm a lot messier than her though. And I think that it's important to show that you don't have to be type A to do fun scrapbooking things and to make your life easier with organization. She does an amazing job, and her stuff is so nice and neat and like rulered out. And I know that I will never be that like neat and straight and organized. So I just intentionally rip pages to where they're intended to look bad, and then it looks okay.
Yeah, I think it looks awesome. Okay, and let's see. Finally, let's also bring up some cosplay. There you go.
So Silksong has consumed my entire life. But this is my most recent cosplay that I did. I did all of the fabric work and detail work on these for myself and my husband and our dear friend. We went to MagFest, Music and Gaming Fest, over in Washington, D.C. in January with these from Hollow Knight. And yeah, that was the one cosplay that I will do this year. I do not have the stamina nor the time to cosplay like I used to. Those masks were so hot, dear God.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. What are they made of?
They're 3D printed.
Oh, whoa, okay.
So
Yeah.
they're 3D printed. Then the eyes, the mesh is also actually 3D printed, but it's mesh, so you can still see through it pretty well. And then there's just foam inside, the way that there would be like a mascot head to keep it
Oh,
secured on our noggins.
it sounds very insulated.
It was very toasty. I was not having a good time. It was love the photos that we got. Not a good time. And the other photos that I sent you of cosplay, we can definitely talk about if you really want to, but I just threw them on there because they're some of my favorites, and I wasn't sure what all we would get to on this. But I love cosplay. I love costume design. And big, pretty ball gowns are kind of my wheelhouse. So that's me. From like 10 years ago, but it's me.
And again, I mean, like that costume looks like a lot of work again.
Yes, I love the detail work. Everything was me. It's like all the wig styling, all of the everything was all me. I make all of my own stuff, so.
Oh, literally, even the wig. Okay. So
Yeah,
how,
I
what?
styled the wig. I did not make a wig, just to clarify, but I styled it.
Oh, okay. So how long did it take you to make something like this, for example?
Probably 80 to 100 hours, I would guess. I know my Princess Serenity took me like a good 190, 200 hours, so I'm kind of guessing on Ariel here, um, based on that. If you hear growling, it's my dog behind me,
Yeah,
very
it's
upset
okay.
that I'm not paying attention to him.
Oh, you should pay attention to him.
Well, I would, but he's behind me, so I can't reach him and pet him. So he's just gonna have to deal, I think.
Yeah, but they're good boys, yeah.
They're very good boys. They're very good boys. They're just very needy. But I wouldn't have them any other way.
So yeah, you know, I'm thinking about the props because again, that's something that I haven't really explored in much, but they're really interesting stuff. So I'd probably be keeping out, looking out for places where I can use that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and
I Yeah, I mean, I had and I didn't take a picture of the actual folder, but I found like an old leather folder,
mhm.
and I used that as I gave it to my players as an evidence folder. So I kept it here because I didn't want it getting lost somewhere. But my players could then, if they found the bad guy's journal or the dragon scales or anything like that, they could then just use that as evidence and tuck it into the folder. And then that way they could review that at any time. Anytime that they had downtime, they could get it out and like just review what they had and ask me any clarifying questions. Or I think that that's really helpful.
Nice. Yeah, I'd definitely be looking for excuses to use this kind of thing.
Because you do mostly like terrain and mini stuff more.
Mostly, yeah, yeah.
And I have never made a piece of terrain in my life. I use just one of those like whiteboard grids for battle, and the immersion comes from all of the props and everything else instead.
But like you said, I mean, like, unless your game is quite combat heavy, the terrain is kind of secondary thing. You only need the terrain if you have a combat scene or whatever.
Yeah, and even if we did, the entire game is based in the city of London, and that sounds like a lot of buildings for me to make, and I don't wanna.
Yeah, as a lazy person, what I would probably do is at most, two boards with the fronts of houses on them.
Mm-hmm.
This is a street corner. This is a street. Have fun.
Perfect. Actually, I really like that idea.
But yeah, I think that it would be mostly be a backdrop rather than an actual map because again, it's like if you're in a street in London, you're not going to have a hill in the middle of the street.
Right. Right,
But yeah,
exactly. You'll have some alleyways and maybe a manhole cover if you really want to try your luck at getting into a sewer, but
but yeah, I mean, at that point, you would also just use your imagination. Yes, there's a manhole cover in the street.
yes, exactly.
Okay, so now we've seen some of your work. Let's see if anyone has dropped anything in the community showcase and see what they've been up to.
Awesome.
Okay, I think okay, this is Cross. He's been making rocks. Cross does not work in small batches. He works in industrial quantities. So we've got hills and rocky outcrops.
Ooh.
Oh, more of them.
Those
So
look super cool.
yeah, and I mean, if you've got these one, two, three, four, five, even if you've got these five rocks, right? You can use them as obstacles. You could use them to set up like a stone circle scene. That's why it's nice to have small individual pieces of terrain rather than, large set pieces. Okay.
Those are so cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys, because I know that there's a couple of terrain makers here and in the chat,
A
how do you
couple, a
keep
couple, yeah.
flocking? How do you keep flocking from getting everywhere? Because I've considered getting it for a different craft, and I look at the jar and I just see chaos in my future if I buy it and try to use it.
Okay. Do you mean after you've glued it onto something, or while you're applying it?
While you're applying it.
Okay. So what you do is you get a large sheet of paper, either a newspaper or even if you get a liner and you spread it on the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you put ridiculous amount of glue on the thing that you want the flock to stick to. Okay.
Okay.
You put down the flock on it. You let it dry. You turn it upside down. You shake it over the liner or the paper, what have you, and then you collect it again. Now, depending on the flock and the glue you're using, that might still not be enough. So what you can do is get a vacuum cleaner, put a piece of nylon socks work well,
Okay.
okay, and you hoover up anything that is left in there. Then you can just shake it off the sock and put it back in the tube. But
Okay.
what you don't want to do is just use it while you've just got an uncovered table.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, you need some kind of collection mechanism, otherwise it will literally go everywhere. It's not as bad as glitter, but it travels.
So I have never done a cosplay involving glitter in this house. In this house. We have lived here for 6 years.
Okay, was
I
glitter
still
the reason
find
that you moved?
random. No, but it might be the reason why we took a hit on the security deposit.
Oh,
But I still find rhinestones and like pieces of glitter from those costumes that I made 2 houses ago. And I can't get rid of it. It never leaves. So I don't want another glitter situation.
yeah, it doesn't travel that far, but yeah, you definitely need to contain it at the point where you're using it.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, the other thing
So,
is don't sneeze while you're applying it.
oh. Oh no.
Oh yes,
Do you have a story? Do you have a story for that, Karl?
yes, a few times. It's actually it's not as bad. If you're using foam flock or sawdust flock, it's not that bad. It's really bad when you're using static grass because
Okay.
that will stick to stuff. And luckily, I don't know about your husband, but this is a lot of static.
Oh, sure, sure, sure.
Oh yeah, and you got the dogs, of course. You would want to be
Yes.
careful. So yeah, unless you want your dogs to be green for a few days,
Um, oh, that sounds good. I'm looking at potentially using it on that whiskey barrel that I mentioned earlier. That's going to be a future craft.
oh nice, okay.
Um, so, but then I have to figure out how to do that, and we'll see how
Are you planning to
energetic I am about that after Gen Con.
are you planning to do like a grassy lid kind of thing, or like patches of moss on the thing?
Yeah. So what I want to do is I want to make like a fake top with like flowers and fairy lights and like mossy top, right? Make it look very mossy and pretty. And then when the players get to a certain part in the campaign, they learn that there's some secrets in the cognac. Um, one of my players' characters grew up at the like it's like her family business, right? So it's not just this random ass cognac, I promise. Um, so when they find out that secret and things start getting weirder, I will swap it out then for some homemade tentacles out of pool noodles.
Ooh, okay.
and just like we'll go from like cute little fairy lights and mossy to the next session. They walk in and there's like red lights and eldritch tentacles coming out of it.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to see that.
So that's the plan. We'll see how if I can get it done and if I can make it look decent.
Yeah, if you need to bounce some ideas around, we'll definitely be happy to help.
Heck
Uh,
yeah. I
Dan
appreciate that.
Danjamithan is saying if I'm doing a large project, I get a large cardboard box, like refrigerator size, and set up a catch-all in there.
Ooh, smart.
I also use it as a spray boot. To be honest, if you're going to use any sprays, I would suggest do it outside rather than in a box. But yeah, if you have to do it inside because of weather or whatever, a box will help.
Perfect.
But yeah,
Awesome.
a barrel of tentacles sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. I'm excited for them to find the secrets of the backstory that's happened and why these parents, why this family was killed and what's gonna happen next. And um, I'm really excited to get a lot of honestly just a lot of damn it Misties thrown at me. That's really the goal every session. That's really the goal.
Okay, that's how you measure the success of the operation.
Exactly.
Okay, so I think it's about time to wrap up for the evening. Misty, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a fantastic talk and super interesting. If you all want to see more of Misty's work and follow up on her Barrel of Tentacles, I've just left the link in the chat and it's also in the description below. Okay, so
Awesome.
Misty,
Thank you. Oh, go ahead.
any final thoughts before we leave?
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a delight. I'm so excited to share. I will talk about my crafts and stuff all day long, obviously. So apologies for yapping your ear off, but so excited to be here. And I will talk with you guys next time.
Okay, and thank you so much for being here. Everyone else, remember that we've got our instructions not included crafting challenge, which shall be 2 Sundays from now. And yeah, possibly there will be a stream next Sunday. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I'll just post up in the usual place. So thank you all for watching, and Misty, thanks again, and bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.